This is section 2.4, subtracting real numbers, part 2. And I went ahead and wrote out the next couple problems just to save some time. But I want to remind you that when you see phrases like the difference or the difference between and decreased by, that those both mean subtraction. So in your homework, there's a couple phrases that you need to translate that look like these with different numbers. And just as a reminder, in general, when you translate, you want to work from left to right, and just you have to know the meaning of some of these key phrases. So we know difference between, decreased by is talking about subtraction. So the first thing I read is the difference between, all right, 40 and -3. So that means I'm subtracting these numbers. Keep the order. And so I will write 40 minus this subtraction. That negative sign is not part of the subtraction. I mean, that goes with the 3. So this subtraction sign is for the difference between. Then you have the -3. These are the two numbers that I'm subtracting, that, and there's a negative between them. And then it says the comma is important too, so that's kind of the end of that little piece. Then whatever this is, I want to decrease it by -20. So decreased by -20. You don't have to put the parentheses, but I'm doing just because the book usually does. So this is the difference between those numbers. That's decreased by, and then there's the -20. So I didn't leave myself much room here. Let me just go ahead, rewrite it. Now we want to keep, change, minus -20. So keep, change, keep, change. Now it's all addition. So I have 43 plus 20 is 63. And that's my answer. Okay, the next one, it's kind of the same thing, but the difference between and the decrease kind of reversed order. So left to right, -25 decreased by the difference between these two numbers. That means I'm going to be subtracting these two numbers. But because this is minus, I need to parenthesis this. -15. Here's the difference between -15 and -8. So the difference between -15 and -8 looks like this, right? There's the difference. And it says -25 decreased by, this is the difference. Now you'll see in a minute why we need that parenthesis, or why we need this parenthesis, because a negative in front of it is going to change stuff inside. So I need to first, I'm going to keep, change. I'm following PEMDAS because I have grouping symbols here. So let me rewrite. Minus -8. You don't have to keep, change here. I'll show you what it would look like if you did. But for sure inside here, because this is the first thing I have to do in PEMDAS. Keep, change. So the parenthesis is going to go to a -7. And then if I rewrite this, I have -25 minus -7. Now I can keep, change. And so I'm going to get what? -18 as the result. So this one's a little trickier than this one. Now let me show you what it would look like if I did this. -25 minus, so I'm rewriting the original, minus -8. if I did keep, change, change in both places, be careful, you can't jump across the parenthesis and do keep, change, change. You can't do that. You'd have to go keep, change, change. And again, you'll see why in a minute. Okay, now, negative 25 plus negative, I'm still following PEMDAS. This inside part is negative 7, but there's a negative on the outside from the keep, change, change. Negative 25 plus, this means the opposite of negative 7 is 7, and then I get negative 18. Okay, now I'm going to put a line because the next part is a little more algebra related, and there's a very important rule that goes like this. I'm going to put a minus in front of a parenthesis. This do the whole thing. This negative sign what it does negative sign changes the sign of every term in the parenthesis. It's a very easy idea, but for some reason it's so hard for people to get. I don't really know why. Whenever there's a subtraction sign on the outside, in a way, it distributes to everything, and it changes the sign. So here's what that looks like. Okay, negative p plus 3. We'll start with some smaller ones. Now, it means the opposite of p plus 3. The thing is, I can't just do PEMDAS because I can't add the 3 and the p. So, to simplify this, the negative sign is going to change this p. So the p, if it was positive, it's negative. And the 3 is now negative. And that's the answer. So it changes the sign of everything on the inside. 2 negative x minus 10. Now, just looking back what I was telling you up here, that's the reason you can't just jump this negative on the inside, because the negative on the outside is going to change the sign of everything on the inside. It would actually make this, if you were to distribute it instead of following PEMDAS here, you get a 15, well, anyway, I'm not going to confuse it, but that's why you can't just jump it inside. All right, right here. So keep, change, change. Now, the negative on the outside is going to change the sign of everything on the inside. That x is positive, now it's negative. The 10 is negative, now it's positive. That's the answer. There might be more things inside there. It might be like 3a minus 4 plus 2x. So I'm still going to keep, change, change. Keep, change, change. Now don't keep, change, change here. That's not a subtraction sign in this particular problem. It's a negative. So you don't go plus negative. It's already just a negative sign. But I did do it in here. So that negative is going to, the positive 3a, negative 3a, plus negative 4, positive 4, positive 2x, negative 2x. So see, that was positive, negative, positive. Now it's negative, positive, negative. That's my dog breathing, by the way. Hey, quiet, lay down. All right. Now, over here. That was number 3. Okay, so example 4. Let me build on that a little bit. That was the other dog. 3p minus p minus 7. This time, I've got something in the front instead of just that. So I'm gonna keep change in both places. This is now a subtraction sign. If it were just like that, that would just be a negative sign. So I'm gonna go keep change right on the outside, stays outside. And then keep change. So I have to rewrite. I'll do it here. Rewrite 3p plus, now the negative on the outside is going to change the sign of everything on the inside, plus positive p, negative 7, positive 7, right? That's, thank you, Jesse. That's positive, that's negative, negative, positive. See, they switched. Okay, then add like terms. Like terms. So the p's are going to add to each other. 3p plus a negative p. If you want to put a 1 here, you can. 3p's plus negative 1p is 2p's plus 7. And those can't add to each other. Okay, let's do one more. Example 5. Okay, let's do something. 8 minus b minus 9. Okay, keep change. Notice where this is. Keep change. Then rewrite. So 8 plus positive b, negative 9, positive 9. Like terms. The 8 and the 9 can add to each other. So that's going to be 17. The b term can't add with anything else because there's no other b term. And that is the end. All right, I think that should do it.